everybody, welcome to this episode of Baking with Babies. And what are we making?
Scone.
We are making scone, Irish scone. So this is a very special episode of Baking with Babies. Today, this is for our lunatic friends up in, where's your shirt from? Cheryl gave you your shirt, and what festival? The Goderich Festival, the Goderich Celtic Roots Festival. We are missing being with everyone this weekend, but we had a wonderful time recording. I'm playing the band Runa, as does Cheryl, our wonderful percussionist, and Fanon, yeah, and Caleb and Jake. So we recorded our set ahead of time, and Cheryl and I were chatting because Liam and I do a special video series of something called Baking with Babies, and so we cook and bake in the kitchen all the time, so we decided to share it with our friends online and share different recipes.
Bake and drive.
We cannot bake and drive. It's not a good idea. We cannot bake and drive. So we're sharing with you a really wonderful recipe for Irish scone. So not the little teaspoons. You're going somewhere? I hope not. I thought you were going to help me bake. Should we mix?
I'm going to go drive.
To go drive? Well, are you going to drive and then drive right back? I'll see you in a second. So this is a very special recipe that has been in our family for years and years. These are not the little tea scones. This is kind of a big scone or a big scone. So something that's very similar to kind of an Irish soda bread, except that you use baking powder instead, so it gives it a bit of a different consistency. So we'll show you how to make that today. So welcome to our kitchen. We're going to go check where our driver is and see if he's ready to help us again. Oh, have you arrived at Baking with Babies? Did you drive? Everybody's waiting. Turn the engine off. All right, come on. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're ready to get started.
And then drive back into the driveway.
And then, yeah, when we're finished, you can drive back out of the driveway. Okay, so this is our family recipe book. What's in here? Say again? Our recipes. We're going to start out with the flour. We're going to have. You would like the little cup? Yes, please. Okay, we're going to start out with all-purpose flour, 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So can you help me measure?
That.
Oh, we're going to use this one? Yes, we will use this one. Can you hold on to it for a moment, though? We'll use that one in just a moment. We're going to do the 4 cups first. So here's the first cup. 1. Help me count.
2.
2. Nice job. What's the next one?
2.
You did 1, 2, 3. Oh, thank you. Thanks to the milk bottle. And what's this one? 1, 2, 3,
4.
4. Nice job. All right, and we need 4.5. So here's our half cup. We need a half cup. Can you help me?
Little one.
The little one. Okay. Okay. Good job. All right, so we have our 4.5 cups of flour. And then we need...
one more big one.
Oh, not for this. Maybe for something later. How about this? What are we going to put in next? Baking powder. Yes, indeed. And so just like the 4.5 cups of flour, you need 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So we need the teaspoon. Nope, that's the 1/4 teaspoon. We need the teaspoon. That's the half teaspoon. We need a half. So should we do our half teaspoon now? Should we do our half teaspoon at the beginning? Okay. Can you help me put that in? All right, and then we need the teaspoon. There it is. All right, so we need 4 of them. Yeah. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you very much. Do you want to mix that up with your hands or with a spoon? There we go. Remember, tell everybody, say, keep it in the bowl.
And put it in the fridge.
And put it in the fridge. Yeah, eventually we'll put it in the fridge. All right, we now need a teaspoon of salt. And in a lot of our bacon, we don't always use as much salt as it calls for. Not enough to change the chemistry, but just so it doesn't make it quite as salty. So, and we often will eyeball these things. Shall we put some in our hand? So, we're shaking this out with our salt shaker today, but you can use a proper teaspoon and just kind of dip it in. But we like to get our hands dirty, don't we? All right, brush that off. Nice job, into the bowl, and mix it in. Keep mixing. Thank you very much. All right, and then we need a half a cup of sugar, which again, unlike the salt, we often do a little bit more than half a cup. So where's our half cup? Here's our half cup. Yeah, here. Oops, sorry, I'll come back. Here, like this. So we'll do.
Eat it.
No, we are not going to eat it. We're going to mix it right in. All right, so we'll do a half a cup and then just no. None of that. So sometimes it helps with taste testers to hand them a little something to hang on to instead. So if you have somebody who likes to taste test, then maybe hand them something, give them another job to do, putting a lid on one of your containers, something like that. All right, thank you, sir. Can you mix this up for me? Yeah, mix that up. And then the initial recipe doesn't call for this. However, we have secret ingredients, special ingredients that we always put in.
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg and? Tell them nutmeg and? Cinnamon. Yeah. Two of our absolute favorites, aren't they? Take a smell.
Open that top up.
Oh, we don't need all the top off. We just want to shake a little bit in. So this is to taste. So however you guys, how spicy you might like it. We like ours particularly.
You like biting things.
We do sometimes. Can you smell that? What's this one? You can tell these are some of our favorite things. So Liam and I bake together all the time, several times a week in the kitchen, at kind of a minimum. And since he was really little, long before we started doing baking with babies, and one of the early things that he was able to say was cinnamon, which meant I was a really, really proud mama. Alrighty, so these are your dry ingredients you'll mix together all in a bowl. Where are you off to, mister?
Egg.
We're not quite ready for the eggs. Do you know what we need next? We need the butter. Can you help me unwrap the butter?
And take the back and with the butter knife.
We have a butter knife right here. Can you unwrap it for me first? So you're going to need 4 tablespoons or half a stick of butter. And it doesn't have to be any butter specifically, obviously.
Be butter knife. Mom be butter knife.
Yeah.
You
But you can use any type of butter that that you would like. This is a local butter for us. We also like to use Kerrygold different times. But it's whatever type of butter that you'd like to use. And you open it up, and then you're going to cut it into your dry ingredients. So if you have a pastry cutter, that's really helpful. If not, 2 knives or a couple of forks.
Liam, a broken one.
A broken one?
Oh, what little one?
A little one. Well, at the moment, we're going to use this one. Can you help me use this one? We're going to cut it up and then use the pastry cutter. Even if you're using a pastry cutter, it's often helpful to cut it up into kind of smaller pieces. We usually do kind of tablespoon or teaspoon slices, just rough size. It doesn't have to be any specific size. And then into halves or quarters, whatever's easiest for you to use. And then we'll put it in here. Can you help me take this and dump this in here? Both sides. Ready? Nice job.
One more.
One more. Oh, that's all we need for that. That's all we need for that. But are you going to help me with the next part? Are you going to help me with the pastry cutter? So some of these pastry cutter, just like this. Some of these pastry cutters can get really sharp. So if you are baking with a younger person, with a baby, as it were, need to be careful that they or you don't cut yourself with them. This one happens to be, it works really well, but it happens to be on the duller side. So just make sure you double check that before you start using it with a little person. What's that?
I pastry cutter.
This one is a pastry cutter. Yep, this is from Pampered Chef. We love Pampered Chef. We love King Arthur flour. All those guys. It's been one of our favorite things to do is bake in general, but especially during the pandemic. It's been really helpful. We've tried new recipes and all that stuff. So you want to get it to the point where everything, where you can't really discern it too well between the butter and the flour anymore. Obviously it'll be a little bit thicker, but you want it to be that really kind of fine crumbly stage. And if the butter tends to get stuck here, you can just use your knife to clean it out as well, or if it's not too sharp, just use your fingers as well. But you really want to get it down to where it's pretty fine. Are we going to be ready for the eggs? We are indeed. So once you have your butter really well worked into the mix and mixed up well, you are going to take your eggs and your milk and make a 2-cup mixture. So 2 eggs and almost 2 cups of milk. So what you're going to do is you're going to actually, you're going to help me crack them? Yeah. So hang on one second. So you're going to take your liquid measuring cup and you're actually going to crack your eggs into that first, and then you're going to add the milk up so that in total it adds to about 2 cups of milk. And depending on, just a moment. Depending on how hot it is outside, how humid it is, you may need a little bit extra for your dough afterwards, just depending on how dry or how wet your dough becomes. All right, are you going to help me? Alrighty. Very important to ask if the other person then who is helping you crack your eggs is ready. All right, here we go. Oh, not hearing it yet. Let's use our knife to help us out a little bit. It's a little hard, isn't it, when it's not metal. Ready? Ah, did you hear it? Yep. All right, help me crack it.
Mama.
Oh,
Mama,
are you sure?
No.
All right. There's one. And actually, shall we use for this? Do you want to help me use the side? Can you help me use the side so you can feel it? Yep, there we go.
You do that in there.
We are going to put it in there. Try it again on this side. Let's see. Let's see how we do. Ready?
Mama, crack it with
With the knife? Okay, we can. All right, help me. Tell everybody you have to put your thumbs in. You have to put your thumbs in the middle and pull apart. Yeah, Liam has become an expert egg cracker. All right. And you're going to mix that up. Yep. You want to mix that up? Mama will get the milk. And tell everyone, say, be really careful not to splash the eggs, right? You're doing a great job. All right. And then once you have that, you're going to measure out to the 2-cup mark, okay? Maybe just a touch more. Nice job, buddy. And we're gonna, before we pull it over, we're gonna mix it up just gently so that the whole thing has this kind of really light egg color. On your own, very gently, so you don't want to splash it. All right, buddy. All right. And once you have that mixed up, you're going to add it just directly into your dry mix. Oh, slowly, slowly, slowly. Maybe slightly more slowly than we just went for. But the nice thing about this recipe is that you can't really go wrong. Where are the eggs? We used the eggs, didn't we? And you want to mix this up to where it's really well blended, but you also don't want to overmix it so it's not too tough. Part of the eggs? Yeah, because we used the shells. Yeah. So it's pretty hot and humid where we are, so we're going to add a little bit more milk to our recipe. You don't want to make it too wet because it changes the texture after it's baked, but sometimes it needs just a little bit extra or else it gets a little too dry.
Not from that bottle.
Not from that bottle? Where are you off to?
It turned off.
Okay. We're finished mixing. Let's add what we have to add next. What do we have to add next? We're finished our dough. What do we have to add next? Our Our currants, we usually love to use currants in this recipe, but we couldn't find in the shops. There was a shortage. So we love using sultanas or golden raisins, and we love using craisins, dried cranberries. So we're going to do a mixture of both today. Can you help me? So you want to try and make sure that they're broken up, they're not stuck together. And we like to put a lot of them in there. Put some more. You can flour them ahead of time. You can flour
down in the bottom.
Down in the bottom, yeah. Can you pull some out? Good job. Okay, and let's put some golden raisins in. So you can flour, whether you're using currants, raisins, sultanas, or craisins. You can flour them before you put them into the mixture, but you don't have to. Do you like it, Liam?
Do like it.
You do like it. In fact, what are these? What are these? Are those yours? Yeah. Yeah, so, but we're not going to eat the batter. Tell everybody, you cannot eat the batter until it's...
Not baked.
Yes, baked.
Before we bake.
No, not before it's baked. It won't taste nice and it will make your tummy sore. Especially when there are eggs in it. So, you want to mix that up gently. But you want to make sure it's mixed thoroughly so that you don't get big clumps of where the raisins and craisins and currants are, and then lots of pockets without it. So you want to try and mix it up really well so that it's even. And looks like we're missing some here, so we might add some more. Reach, bud. No reaching. All right. So when you after you're done, does that say "I love you"? And show everybody how you say "I love you" with your hands. Yeah. There you are. I love you. So Liam grows up with sign language in our house, with Irish Gaelic in our house. Fiona's from Dublin, and both my mom and my sister sign. So we've been using sign language and Gaelic with him from the very beginning. So milk is usually what? Milk or banga?
I know.
Or what?
No.
Dough? That's what you said for water. We're not sure. That was your own language for that one. All right, so once you have your batter or your dough ready, we like to use cast iron pots or pans rather to cook this, but you can use a glass pan, you can use a tin if that's easier, but you're going to grease and flour it. We've done that here. This you can put all into one pan. It takes a little longer to cook or to bake, and we like to divide it up because we usually put half of it into the freezer and then have it later, and it keeps it a bit fresher in the process. So we're going to divide our dough up. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Let's take it off. All right, we're going to divide our dough up, and it should feel like a pretty pretty heavy kind of wet, sticky dough as you're placing it in. But it will expand a bit as it's baking.
Do we like it?
Do you like it? You do like this, Liam.
You like dough.
You do like dough? Yeah, but we don't eat it ahead of time. This particular recipe is fantastic, either just on its own or with some butter or some jam. It's lovely toast afterwards. Nope, we're all finished with the salt, buddy. Putting a little bit extra on your hand. We don't need it anymore. Yeah, thank you. We don't need any more on the recipe itself. Some people like to put sugar on top of the dough or the batter. It's never really been a thing that I personally like, but you certainly can do that with this recipe as well. We just keep it simple and keep it like it is. So once you've done that, careful. Once you've done that, you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and you're going to bake this for about an hour. push this down to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And you're going to pop it in the oven and then test it at about 45 minutes to an hour. It should be kind of a golden color. If you like it toasted a little bit more, leave it in a little bit longer. Or if you like it on the lighter side, leave it lighter. That hour is approximate, depends on how hot your personal oven is. A friend of ours suggested to get a thermometer for your oven. We used to have one. We don't have one for this oven anymore, but we've kind of gotten a gauge. But if you're not sure how accurate your oven is, that's a good idea. Yeah, alrighty. So we're going to place them in. So you can see we have some baking stones, and that can sometimes change baking time a little bit as well. But we're going to place them directly on the baking stones. Close it up, and we'll see you in about an hour. Everybody to check them. Say, see you in a little while, everybody. Happy baking. Happy baking. Hello everybody, welcome to the last step of this episode of Baking with Babies, and we're ready to take out our scone from the oven, right? Yeah, should we check it? Should we check it? Okay. They look beautiful. All right, so we'll take both of these out. We tested them once or twice, and as I said before, it depends on how toasty you like them or how kind of light golden color you like them, but this is where we like them in terms of coloring. And so, as I said, they are wonderful with butter and wonderful with jam. Should we maybe try some later with jam on? Should we try some later with jam? Yeah, and we will. We will. And you can see some time has gone by since we've been in the oven. It is 98 degrees outside at our house today, and we are still silly enough to be baking, aren't we? We have gone outside and gotten sprayed with water and got changed since. Yeah.
Don't cut.
With your shirt. Who's on your shirt? Where's this from? Goderich, and you're what's on the back? Say, I'm a Celtic kid. Oh, come on, arms up. I'm a Celtic kid. Say happy. Yeah, say happy baking, everybody. Happy festival.
Happy baking, everybody. Happy festival, everybody.
Happy festival, everybody. See you soon. Stay safe.